So yeah, that's a 5/32 difference, which is not good for your all-wheel drive systems. Why, hello, and welcome. I know she's leaving us. It's a terrible thing. However, I am still here for the next hour, to which we are looking on this BMW X Drive, which we found the grinding noise, and now we are, well, mostly we're writing it down on the ticket. Now I was going to go up front and talk to them just as it happened. So I guess I'll wait just a minute, but hello and welcome. I do automotive all week. So if you are interested...
Snakey989 gifted a tier 1 sub to CACHH. This is their first gift sub in the channel.
Those gifters that just have to gift everybody everything. I've seen you've been working on some cars lately too, on stream. I would be remiss if I said that I watched often. I don't typically watch many streams at all, but... Hello and welcome. I mean, I'm in South Carolina, but sure. I have no issues working with anybody if it involves cars. So, as we were just looking, this is what we were just looking at, is this brake pad right there is non-existent. There's no pad left. Because if you compare that, this right there is the brake pad itself. And so if you take that to this side, you can see how this one, it's got like, it's a little easier to tell if you're a little lower. It's got some like thickness to it. Hey, actually, I kind of started a series on YouTube, which I need to continue, which is tools and how to use them. I just figured that YouTube needs or more people that would just kind of go over what, this is a ratchet, this is a socket, sockets, ratchets, 3/8, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, that's what that means. This is an extension, this is a impact gun, this is an impact socket, you know. Because I was watching another automotive guy, and he's like, oh yeah, and I got this for Volkswagens, and I was like, you have that tool too. I also have that tool, and I have no idea how it works. How does it work? How do they manage to wear that out? No Imperial tools. Well, everything's done in Imperial for a lot of things, except for the sizes. I mean, I use mostly metric. Well, you can't read these anymore because I've used them so much. Where's the socket that I haven't used up? Aha, like a number 9, because it's just a 9mm deep well. Why it wore out that one side, it's probably got a slide issue, which I guess we could take the wheel off and find out. I don't know if these are, yeah, seized guide pins, things like that. There's no lock nuts, and it looks like 17s. But yes, if you have automotive questions, then please buy. Either it's not a 17 or my 17's are worn out, which both are possible. Nope, a 17's worn out. I've only been using you for like a decade. How dare you give up on me? I have been good to you. You've been so good to me. You've done everything that I've asked. And you've just, it's time to replace the Stanley 17mm sockets. I guess we'll let it down some. Now don't you get stuck on here. I know you're not that loose. Although you make me wonder. Let me grab Noah's set. I'm gonna steal Noah's impact. If he's got a half inch. I know he's got a half inch. There it is. His Matco 17. Aw, it's 3/8. What a rip. Does he not have half inch impacts? What a bum. I guess I should probably just get a set of Matcos or Snap-ons. Granted, this would be the first time I've ever had to warranty my socket for that yet. You have fun, and thanks for dropping by. I mostly raid and run as well, so, because usually when I leave here, I'm just interested in going home. Because I stream for 8-9 hours a day. Exclamation point YT or exclamation point YouTube if you want to check out my YouTube and find out some other videos that I'm posting there, and also you can check out the other stream there, etc. All right, now we can clearly see it. That pad is gone. She's gone. But this pad is not. See how it's got light. Aziz, light! There. See how it's got the pad there? I bet you one of these slides got stuck. So these are the slides. Because if you're unaware, a caliper has to be able to move back and forth because the piston pushes this way, which pulls this end that way. And so it can squeeze the pad. So it squeezes. This pushes out. This pushes in. So it squeezes them. And so if this side is good and this side is not good, then you're likely have these are stuck because it's not pulling the whole thing back. It's just pushing that out and wearing that out. Does that make sense? Questions, concerns, comments, dissertations, arguments? Yeah, we don't play any music. Well, I mean, the main reason is because everybody's got their little Bluetooth headsets, if they want to. Noah listens to, I don't know what. Jason listens to podcasts all day on his headset. And that's pretty much it. Now the question is, why did this get stuck? Let's see if we can't loosen it up a little bit. Seems to be okay. Did it get jammed? Doesn't want to push back very much, but again, we'll have to see what the customer wants to do. If they want me to go ahead and tear it all apart. Either way, they need brakes. Let me run up front and tell them. Also, that's true. With no music, I don't have to worry about DMCA claims or anything like that. I can just roll all day, and when I walk away like this, I can just be like, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go up front and tell them to check the ticket. And now you're on the ambient microphone, to which when I walk away, it gets quieter. Hold on. Hey, buddy. Hey, how are you? I'm good. Good. right. Let's make sure we actually have audio. 12 or 13s on the back. Watch them be 10s just to piss me off. Ooh, 13s. I guessed closely. We're gonna pull off the caliper real quick and see what it seems like is stuck. Well, that one spins. That one spins too. So, You know, Death Stranger, I read your name as Dr. Strange Touch. I don't know why. I think that's another one of my viewers. And I always laugh at that name because it's so funny. No. No, we don't. I don't think people want to hear me insult their cars all day. But that's a me thing. Well, I mean, it's an every mechanic thing, honestly. That was what's funny, was I was watching another YouTuber talk about, oh, both of these slides are okay. The other possibility is that the piston is stuck. Yep. So, looky here, look at here. Woo, I'm blind myself. So now that we got the pads off, you can see the caliper, how that is shot. And we have good slide motion out of this, good slide motion out of this, turn, slides, good things, good things. That is our next suspect. How many cars have I worked on today? 3, 4. Finished the GTI, did the Beetle, pulled in the Porsche, sent it back out, and this one. We only have so many cars here, so I can race through them, but doesn't mean that everything needs to be like, I work at an independent shop. It's not always like super crazy. There's not always cars out there waiting, etc., etc. So that compresses okay. I was worried that wasn't going to compress. So, as to why it wore out that one piston, I don't have a good answer. Something got stuck and then unstuck? Why, thank you. The volted amp. Electrician in New York City? Whew. I do not envy you. No, you never do a poor job on a customer's car, even if they are a jackass. Because it doesn't matter, your reputation will follow you. Likes to do and does are two different stories. Oh yeah, getting paid while getting paid is definitely in my interest. Because, like, I mean, I make like 17 bucks an hour, so I don't make that much money. I'm not in it from work. Then the rest of it I get to make from this. Ooh, I probably don't want to keep this water next to my phone. Correct. Death Stranger is correct. Nothing good comes out of treating somebody poorly. I have no idea how much for a brake job. I don't do the pricing stuff. Damn it. Well, my weekend was fine. I'm just putting the wheel back on this thing now because, well, we got to look up brakes. I mean, it slides okay. I don't know why I got stuck. Maybe you got a piece of trash in the return part of the piston or something. I don't know. Why is this car? This car? This is a pretty basic. From what I've seen of this car thus far, it all seems very basic. It's just a McPherson strut. You got a McPherson strut, so you got your spring, your shock absorber, your knuckle goes down here. It's got a no, it's not even multi-link, and then just your good old-fashioned A-arm or lower control arm down here. So that's got the ball joint. This is the arm, and it brackets here and here, and this helps stabilize it. And you got your sway bar link hooked up to your strut, and you got your tie rod end right there. So nothing too crazy. Although I like this, I think. I'm not sure. This seems like an interesting different design instead of the jam nut style that gets rusty. Crack this loose, then you can spin that, and you can also get penetrant down in there. I mean, it's got like whatever that is. I don't know. And then you got like a level sensors, stops for a reason. Your wheel well, and then your air ducting from the front here, so that way it can cool off your rotors of your, so it's going to blow air like in through here, and its idea is just trying to get it through the vents of the rotor so the rotor stays cool, as cool as it can. What's the oldest car I've worked on? A 60s Beetle. This shop originally started as an air-cooled shop for old Volkswagens, but the gentleman who does that, who used to own the shop, sold it. And I mean, I never worked on the old Beetles primarily anyway. I would just follow his directions and do some things. Like, yeah, run this fuel line for me, or run this clutch cable and put the engine back in. Help me mount the engine back in. Little things here and there. I was just making sure I tightened them up. I was like, I don't remember tightening up the brake pads or the caliper. 67 Camaro gang. Hey. This let me burst a lot of people's bubbles before they get too excited. I really don't like cars. Well, I mean, we just brought it in to diagnose it. We don't have any pads and a rotor or anything here. We have to order that stuff and get it coming. So if anything, I got to get it out of my bay so tomorrow I can work on something else while we wait for parts to get here. Because this was just, what is that noise, and what do we need to do to fix it? What is that noise? It's the brake pad. What do we need to do to fix it? Replace them. Do we have any? No. So we will get them tomorrow at this point, because it's 4:45, and we close in 45 minutes. Have I ever worked on a Volvo? Yes. Do I like working on Volvos? No. Do I like working on many cars? Not particularly. Do I enjoy working on cars? It's something that I can tolerate, put it that way. Some days I like it, some days I hate it. Does your liking of cars just gradually get worse? Yes. The longer you work on cars, the less you like them. Because the more you work on cars, the more you find out they're horrible piles of crap that are over-engineered, too many bells and whistles, and not enough good engineering on the critical parts, like the engine or the suspension. It's like, well, how could you make that? How could you have made that any cheaper and it still holds together? It's yes and no. It just depends on the car. I don't really want to work on bikes. It's about as exciting as working on cars. I mean, I never really had a passion for cars. I like to fix things. That's pretty much it. I like to take things from broken to fixed. So, ooh. Sorry, I'm stretching my chest. I've been having some upper shoulder issues on my right shoulder. I presume it's from throwing baseballs, but I'm just stretching out anyway. Yeah. No, it's just, mostly they're frustrating. Mostly they're frustrating because getting information, getting data, getting specs can all be very difficult. I usually work on the Volkswagens and Audis. That's my specialty, if I have a specialty. So it's what I work on the most. And wiring diagrams are sus, specs are sus, like who knows if they're right. Most of the time they're okay, but sometimes you get something and you have a problem and you're like, great, I have all these wires going into this door and the door is killing I need to make sure that the door lock locks. Which one's the wire that is the signal? Oh look, all the wires in the door are white. There's no colors. There's no differences. Just you can tell which pin they're in. Other than that, they're all white. It's that kind of crap that I don't like. Hello, Sir Crow. Oh, he's doing great. He's changing the oil in Boss's car before he drives back home today, eh? Oh, good. Oh, you were just fixing that?
Yeah, trying to find a clip to fit.
So he pulled up over a parking curb and pulled it out.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. Actually, he was like, yeah, they ran up on one of the parking lots.
I also want to make sure that everybody understands. Cars, the repair cost of a car is proportional to its original purchase price when it was, new. So if you have a car that was $15,000, it'll be a lot cheaper to fix it. Versus if you bought a car that was $150,000, parts are going to be expensive and possibly difficult to find. So keep that in mind. Too many times. I'm sick of it. I mean, I've been sick of that since like year one of working on cars, where gentleman brings in like a 1996 BMW 550, whatever, 740. Like a really old, or a 2004 Audi R8. I don't know if they made an R8. A8L. $100-ish thousand car when new. And they're like, you give them the list of all the things that are wrong with it. And they're like, man, I only paid $1,000 for the car. I'm like, I don't care. All the parts are expensive. It's up to you. If you want to drive it like this, like it is until it stops moving, then more power to you. But just because you paid $1,000 for the car doesn't mean, oh, that's right, you paid $1,000 for the car. Let me adjust all the prices to accommodate that. That's what I feel like they're looking for. I mean, that's why he paid $1,000 for the car. It was cheap and he could afford it. And he thought he was getting a good deal because it's a fancy-ass car. And then he finds out, not so fancy because it needs a lot of work. And there's a reason it was $1,000. Yeah, what was the problem? Uh-oh, it's still out. That's not a good sign.
I had to take it all the way back out. Once I got it out,
Mm-hmm.
when the dipstick goes in, it goes through the guide,
Yep.
then it curves down, then it goes there into the oil pan.
Something's in the way.
This was vertically
Oh, one of the guide
In-
things had broken.
in the damn
Fill in that damn
piece.
tube.
In
Oh,
that
wow.
Funnel,
And the whole place is
whatever you
filled.
want to call that little piece right there, that little
Yeah.
hole. Funnel, guide, whatever.
Now the question is how much other crap got down there
Well, I'd already planned on taking the oil pan off the car anyway,
to make sure that nothing else was in it.
because I've had them suck up into the pickup. The first one I ever did, I actually had to completely disassemble the pickup and get all the garbage out of it
Mm.
that was jammed up in it. Now she ran hers for quite some time though, but
This one, not so much on the running it forever.
correct.
Ah.
But like I said, and this piece had to have fallen in there during my disassembly because I took the dipstick out of the car
Yeah,
and it came out and went back in.
right.
But-
So it was probably something broken on the other one.
But well, yeah, that whole piece there was gone.
Oh.
See, that's all that was left of the.
Oh.
That's all that
Yeah.
was left of that.
Did you find any more pieces?
I found a 3/4 of this.
Okay, because I would start like collecting all the pieces and putting them together.
Well, I forget where I put it, but I've got that piece. Oh, I know where it is. It's on this. Right here.
Ah, yep.
So
Because whenever I'm doing time and chain stuff on
it was probably a piece.
the Volkswagens, I make sure that if there's any broken plastic,
Like I said,
I want to
that
find
thing
all of
could
it.
have fallen on either side of that thing and just gone on down in the pan and been fine, and I could have got it later. But damn if it didn't hit right where the dipstick had to
Yep. So it made you have to disassemble everything.
go. Yeah, so now I got to put it all back together.
And I got to torque it down to 0.0 or 0.6 Newton meters.
Yeah, which, like I said, what you suggested on your tool did, I think, get me. But what you do,
What is that pretensioner? Or where is it?
hold on.
Okay.
I'm losing my shit right now myself is what I'm doing. The pretensioner screws in the side of the head right here,
Mm.
and it is.
There's that. I mean, there's some things down here.
No, those are all the pieces for the bottom. And
Okay.
normally I wouldn't have done them there, but no, that's another piece. The pretensioner is a tool.
Oh.
Put that in the head, and then you screw this in, and it pushes against the guide right here.
Mm-hmm.
And you put it at whatever the
Spec was.
0.6 Newton meters.
Yep.
Then, and I never got this far, you rotate the engine 2 full revolutions, then you recheck that your framework fits still. If your framework doesn't fit, there's a allowable range that you have to take a feeler gauge and run a feeler gauge where the two pieces come together here. And
Yep.
in other words, you bolt it down here, it's going to ride up right here, and you run a feeler gauge in there, and if it's 1.2 millimeters or less, you're good. You keep going. If it's more than that, you have to readjust everything again.
Fantastic.
By readjusting, you loosen the gears on the cam.
Oh, there's floating cam gears?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. That's why.
Yeah.
So all this was missing though, right?
No.
Just the
Do I need to measure the brakes?
I'll let you know.
Okay, because I got one bolt in the wheel and I was wanting to find out if I should put the rest of the way on.
This was down on top of
Sorry, I didn't know we were going to be over there having that long of a conversation. I would have taken the camera. We were just talking about that Mini Cooper he's working on. He's doing time and chain stuff on a Mini Cooper, and the upper guide broke. Like it popped off. And so part of the guide, because when the guide broke, little pieces of it came off, and one of those pieces went down through the, so you got like the timing cover, where there would be a timing cover if this had a cover in that sense, but where the chain goes is like about this big. It's kind of like a Mercedes or maybe even a Beamer. Well, obviously it's a Beamer. And so the chain goes down into here, and so do the guides. Well, the guide, the piece broke down into there, so when he pulled out the whole assembly, that little chunk fell down further into the engine and went, because the dipstick goes through the outside, through the guide, and then down into the pan. It's really weird. Anyway, it fell into the spot where the dipstick goes into the pan. There's a little tube about that big, probably about that big, and that little chunk fell into it, and that's why he couldn't get the oil dipstick all the way down. Yes, he's still got to take, he's still, as he was just saying, he's going to take off the oil pan. That's part of the process of what he suggests and tells them when they get this kind of repair done, is that I need to take off the oil pan and I need to check the pickup to make sure that it's not full of plastic chunks. Nope, can't use a magnet either. So he just had to undo all the timing stuff he just did, which is what he's been working on for the past 2 hours. Meaning he was probably putting it back together for about an hour, and then he had to take it all back apart. But no, Harold, the piston compressed back. Well, it's a good thing we're paid hourly around here. Ooh, override. Where did you learn all about your electric motors? What does FPV stand for? First person view drones? Okay, that's what it means. I was like, FPV. Fight people viciously drones? Yes, I used to smoke cigarettes. No, I don't anymore. Now I vape. I want to do that. That sounds like fun. The problem is, AMG Allen, is that it'll get picked up, and the pickup's got, all the oil pickups are, about that big-ish, somewhere in this range. They have a screen inside, like a mesh screen, but lots of times that plastic, because of the force of the oil going through it, it'll wedge it in there, and it's not going to come out unless you get under there and like dig it out. What is the cheapest FPV drone? The cheapest, not like Chinese knockoff type. Woo. Okay, so like $300 or $400. Because one thing, there's two reasons. One, I would like to play with it because why the hell not? Two, I want my kids to be able to play with it. Well, that, and I want the kids to at least learn it. because I know that there is a lot of opportunity out there in the job market for drone flyers, people that can survey lands or something like that, and be able to make money doing that. Or maybe I could take one and do it as side work. Like, hey, cool, it's Saturday and I don't have anything to do. Or I don't have anything to do next Saturday. Does anybody need me to come and drone something for them? Do they want some footage? Do they want to... I should ask Dave. Spectre had a racing drone that I think he stopped playing with. Yeah, like when you see like the drones following cars drifting around corners and stuff. That's probably disorienting as hell. You like fly down and look at yourself and you're like, oh look, there I am. Wait, what? Moving my leg, but it's going in the wrong direction. I figure you would just zone out when you're in the drone. Like you totally get immersed in being the drone, which, if you think about that, is kind of an interesting concept because the term I stole from somebody else, but the elasticity of the human brain. If you can strap on a headset and grab some controllers and then you get like the bearings and then boom, like you just kind of like, whoosh, you are the drone. And suddenly everything you know translates to flying a drone. It's a Aegis mod, and it's just a mesh dripper. South Carolina. That's why the doors are open and we're not freezing, because it's like 70 degrees outside right now. It's very nice. You just think like a bird. Oh, it sounds so fun. That sounds exciting. So it's fascinating to understand that, like, that's what the brain can do. The brain can, you can become a drone and your brain's like, oh, drone mode. Now the question is, when you take off the headset, do you go like, whoa, oh God, we're walking again. Off to being human. Think like a bird, eat French fries and poop on cars. Yeah, like when you get off the trampoline and you're like, oh, okay, we're walking again. Yep, this is how walking feels. Hell yeah, smoking hot 46. $68 right now, with a just blisteringly fast wind. Speaking of which, I need to go outside and feed the animals. And by feed the animals, I mean throw my extra food into the creek. Because something will eat it, whether it be ants or bugs or small animals. They'll probably enjoy that pork chop, and also the noodles. Maybe they'll attract a mouse out there, and then a snake will eat the mouse. And then a bird will eat the snake. Because circle of life, you know. All that good stuff. Electric cars are boring. They don't even fly. Ugh. Yeah, I just throw it in there and then here. Thank you. Run away! I like VR. I've only played it a couple times, but from the times that I did play it, I did enjoy it. Also, think of how cool that would be if, like, can you tether the camera output to, I assume you need a cell signal for the video output. So once I was watching me and the kids went to go do a canoeing thing with the scouts. And they were launching the canoes and stuff like that. And there was this dude standing on the bank. And he had a controller and stuff. He wasn't wearing a headset. He just had a camera or a phone sitting there. He's looking at the phone. And we were just kind of like, what you doing? And he's like, oh, you know, he saw all the kids. And he's like, yeah, I'm flying a drone over the river. So it was really fascinating. He's like, you know what the neat thing is? He's like, watch this. He's like, it moves around, like gets a nice big, because he was flying it near the dam, which is where we were near. And we have a really big dam. And so he turns around and shows us the dam, because we all know where the dam is. It's like that way, generally speaking. He goes, now watch this. And he goes, boop, hits a button, and then he shuts it up, and he puts it in his pocket or just sits there and holds it. He goes, now we wait about 5 minutes. And then he walks over into the parking lot, and he goes, it's going to land about here. Then he backs up, and we hear it. And then, yeah, we just watched it fly, and then, boop, lands right there on his X. We're like, oh, that was neat. He's like, yep, it's really cool. He was getting footage for something. Like, one of the cooler drone footages that I think they sacrificed the drone for it, but you've seen the one with the drone flying over the active volcano as it's erupting? Like, they're just flying it real low. Like, I'm sure the plastic on that thing is about to melt. And it probably ended up falling into the lava, but I mean, for footage like that. Woohoo! 5772, boys. Sorry, I'm talking about my YouTube sub count. Yeah, it was a return home type thing. So if you guys are curious about more YouTube-y stuff, there's the YouTube. Well, there's the stream again over on YouTube, because I dual stream. And before anybody gets upset about, but you're partnered, you can't dual stream. Aha. Except my contract is very old, you see. I got partnered in 2014, and in 2014, the only thing I couldn't dual stream was gameplay. There was no mention of if I wanted to dual stream automotive content. Stop calling me. Speaking of which, I gotta figure out who called me earlier. Hold on. I wonder what would happen if you flew a drone into the Aurora Borealis. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hit the button because I was going to cough, but forgot I was muted. I try to mute before I cough, not unmute to cough. Hell yeah, Overrider. Like, where do you get said things? Post links. There's no link banning stuff in my channel. You can post links all day. The only stipulation would be do it wisely, because if you post something inappropriate, then well, you'll just get banned. So that's the good part is that so many people ban links in their chat. It's not hard for me to roll with that kind of problem. Ooh. Oh. So it's like a DIY racing quads. Oh, this looks like fun. There's my price range, $140 something. And by price range, I mean still can't afford it, but hey. Hey Dave, whatever happened to that racing drone you were using all the time? Or that you were learning how to fly? What'd you do with the rest of it? Is it just still sitting in your closet in pieces? Or did it destroy itself? If you don't want it, man, I'll be happy to learn how to fly a drone. You think you're done? How easily does, I wonder if we can hook that up to the stream. One of these is Twitch. I can do that. You guys are far too nice to me. You know that, right? Yeah, I would need a computer to stream from, but this is, oh, cool. Well, that's good. And the kids will probably, my youngest son will just be like, oh, it's a controller, but it's like, it hooks to my computer and I can pretend to fly a drone. And be like, here you go, bud. This is awesome! When you're good enough, we can take it outside and try it on the real drone. So I got a USB-C to HDMI video capture card. Or I got the capture thing. Lots of hours in sim time and still crashed it. Ah! I don't know, maybe, but here's the question though, and here's the question for everybody. Does playing a lot of space sims when you were growing up and throughout most of your adult life, does that help? I would assume flying anything and being able to keep yourself oriented. Why, thank you. I try. Like, seriously, I do. Because I figure if you're going to be here and you're going to watch me on the internet, then I might as well try to be something worth looking at. Uh-oh. I'm 39 soon. Oh, I totally enjoyed joyriding in the Volkswagen. But the thing is that we got a big field over there, just across the tree line, because this is a fence, and then there's a big field because there's a church. So, what could be cool is if once I get good enough, I could take the drone off out there in the field and hook it up to this rig and hopefully be able to stream what it sees and I see and then go around. That sounds like fun. Maybe I'll find out I have a knack for it, or maybe I'll find out I'm awful. I'm gonna go wash up, because apparently David's never gonna tell me if I actually need to measure the brakes or not. But no, I take my appearance on stream as seriously as I can to a point. At the risk of sounding offensive to some people, I take Peter Steele's mentality towards it, which was he's the lead singer of Typo Negative, and he worked out a lot and he exercised and tried to make sure that he looked very good, because he's like, you don't want to watch some on stage greasy and nasty looking guy up there. He's like, if you're going to be there, you might as well try and look your best, both physically and appearance wise. Granted, I can only do so much about my attire because I'm at work. Yes, the field I do donuts with customers' cars in, absolutely. Okay. Anyway, it's 5:14. I gotta leave in a few minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop off for the day. So thank you all for joining me. I very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the morning for another one. Our dentist visit is Wednesday, so tomorrow will be just an average day. And everything else will be normal. Oh, is Kexi back on? I have no idea how to say your name. Seema? What about Seema? Have I ever been around a Baja bug? No. Wait, a Baja bug? We've had one in here before. It's just an air-cooled bug. I think she's live. No, it's hosting me. Okay. That's what's weird. It's live but hosting me? Did she not turn off her stream? How does that work? I don't know. I don't know what's going on here, but okay. Jaworski. So anyway, have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys later. And that's it. That's all. That's the tweet. Bye.